Kingdom greetings, kingdom greetings, kingdom greetings. Hello, hello. My name is Jubilee Rivombo and I am here to discuss some mental health issues. If this is your type of tea, if you like what we're serving, please do subscribe. Please hit the subscription button and make sure that you follow through with this video, right? And do comment as you watch, right? We're super excited for this one because it's about to get lit. I have my notes on the side, so if I happen to look on the other side, please don't get distracted. It's because I'm actually looking at my notes so that I give you stuff that is logical, right? This is just my process. So let's get right into this. This video under the mental health series is about knowing how can we identify that, hey, Mang needs help. Maybe they might benefit from receiving services, psychological services, right? How do we know this, right? How can we identify this issue? There are certain signs. Obviously, this is just me talking. Again, none of the videos that I'm making here, none of the things that I'm saying here is actual psychological advice. If you need psychological advice, go to a registered, trained, qualified psychologist, right? And they will be able to help you. But on the down low, as a conversation, what are some of the ways that you might actually that show that you might actually need help? There are so many, right? And in another video, I will actually be discussing the one about suicidal thoughts, right? And in the suicidal thoughts, we talked about suicidal ideation, where you think of committing suicide. Usually it starts as if you are not going to do it, but you just think about it like, oh, if this car crashed, if I accidentally ate poison, if this happened. It's suicidal ideation. You're fantasizing about these different ways of going, basically. So that might show that you actually need help. Again, if you are consistently going into, when you are repeatedly engaging in risky behavior, that could definitely show that there's something going on with you, because now you're having this I don't care attitude, engaging in sexual activity recklessly, spending recklessly, driving recklessly, just all these things basically. So if you are engaged in risky behavior repeatedly, you might need help. Something might be going on in your psyche that needs to be looked at and probed into, right? And going to get psychological advice is not a bad thing, right? Going there does not mean you're crazy. Because as Black people, we think that it means you're crazy. It does not mean you're crazy. It just means that you need help. And by going there, you are getting the help that you need, right? Just like a person who's had an accident, they're going to the hospital because they need help, right? And by going to the hospital, going to the doctor, they're getting the help that they need. So that is literally it. There is no difference. Another thing, so that was two things that I said. Number 3, right, is when you are using substances, right, that now actually result in damaging behaviors. I mean, you're causing havoc. That might be a sign that you need help. If you know someone who's doing that, they definitely need help, right? And I did share in another video the contact details of people you can call for free to actually advise you, right? And I also did mention places you can go, right? Organizations that also lead community endeavors, right, on mental health and all these things. Those organizations usually have people that can also help you. So also do pay attention to that. As a village girl, I definitely understand that you might not be close to a clinic, you might not be close to a hospital, because access in this country is still a big deal. But you can definitely get access to people within the community, NGOs, right? Psychologists within the community that can definitely help you. Or those toll-free numbers. If you have access to a phone, you can definitely call them. They don't need your airtime. You just call and it's toll-free, right? So that was just a curveball. We are back now. Let us go. If you are experiencing confused thinking, everybody knows when their head is clear. When your head is on par, when your thoughts are on par, when you're thinking straight, you know you're thinking straight. You know it. You realize it. But when you start being very confused, then it becomes an issue, right? Where does this confusion come from, right? And we need to probe into that so that you can get help. You can get help. Some people will say, this person is just going like temporarily mad. Little things like that. No, you just need help, right? And some of these things, there's definitely ways that you can get help, so they don't escalate into things that they're not even supposed to be escalating into in the first place. If we get help on time. Again, I'm addressing the issue that we spoke about in the other video to say that if it's not broken, don't fix it. No, we don't wait for it to be broken. If it's not broken, maintain it, right? And that is what you do by going to therapy, by getting help, by consulting people that can actually help you. The other thing that we said we want to do is when you're experiencing extreme highs, up there, euphoria, you are there on top, and then you're experiencing extreme lows, like low low that could be something that we need to look into. That could also indicate that you might need help, right? Reaching out is not a sign of weakness. We all need help at some point, so definitely do look it up. If you're also experiencing prolonged seasons of sadness or irritability, you are just angry, man. For the past 2 weeks, you've just been angry. There might be something that's going on with you, right? And obviously, I'm a bubbly person. I'm a happy person. And some people in my life even ask, Jubilee, do you ever get angry? Nee. There are days when I'm sad. And I'm just sad. But now, if I'm being sad for a month, that becomes an issue. That is quite a long time for you to be sad. So definitely look into what's going on with your emotions, right? And now I'm not talking about as a result of maybe if you're going through a loss. Obviously, if you're going through a loss, you need to, if you're mourning, if you're in the grieving stage, you obviously do need to seek counseling, right? So you go through that and you really process it well. But if on a normal day, you are just sad, tomorrow you are sad, next week you are sad, 2 months later you are still sad, there might be an issue that needs to be looked at, right? So definitely seek out help, if it's you or if it's someone you know, right? And then when you are having excessive fears, worries, and anxieties, right? Fears, worries, and anxieties, when it's excessive, right? When you're just there, and we know that the word of God says we should not worry about tomorrow, that tomorrow will take care of itself. So when you start experiencing these things and you just be like, hey man, what's going on? There might be something that's going on that needs help. And obviously, these things also need prayer. They 100% need prayer. In fact, 110% need prayer, right? So if you are also there and you're feeling, man, hey, you are having all of these things, fears, worries, anxieties, you might need help. So definitely do reach out. If you are experiencing social withdrawal, right? Okay, so me being mostly an introvert, I enjoy my personal space. I enjoy being alone. I enjoy being alone with my thoughts. But it's not all the time. Right? It's not all the time, right? If you are a social person and all of a sudden you are withdrawing from people, that could be an issue. And even when it's someone like me who enjoys being alone, who enjoys thinking, time for me to think, time for me to meditate and pray and all of that. But if it becomes excessive, man, social withdrawal is a sign. When you're going through the most, you struggle to even, you feel like you don't have social bundles. We call it social bundles. You don't have the energy to face other human beings, to deal with people, right? You might need help. You might definitely need help. And I think this goes a lot for teenagers, and we need to really look out for this. Teenagers, sometimes you find that even in the structure, they just spend so much time in their room alone. They're not watching TV. They basically just there. And yes, people need time to be alone, to think, to just be. But if if they are really spending that much time alone, not engaged with other people, not engaged in any activity, just excessive time alone, it could be a situation, especially as well when you just now sit in the dark for no good apparent reason. That could mean that there's something going on and we need to investigate that, right? The other thing that we spoke about is when you start having drastic changes in eating or sleeping habits. Now, everybody has their own way of eating and sleeping, right? And it's weird how these two usually go together. So if, for example, all of a sudden you are sleeping way too much, you are sleeping in the morning, you are sleeping in the night, you are taking a nap in the afternoon, there might be something going on with you. If you're sleeping excessively, every human being gets to a point where they just need time to just heal, right? Me, I'm a fan of sleeping and a nap. I will rest. If I feel tired, I will rest. That's one thing I know I will do. But it's not all the time. If you're sleeping, I don't want to say inappropriate, but there are times when okay, this is the moment where I'm supposed to be busy with certain things. But if constantly, when you're just taking a nap, in the morning you wake up, you do your chores, you go back to sleep. In the afternoon you eat, you go back to sleep. In the evening you watch a series, you go back to sleep. You wake up the next day and do the same thing. There might be a problem. Or you just want to stay in bed. You're not necessarily asleep, but you just want to stay in bed the whole time. There might be an issue that you need to look at, right? So do get help for that. The other one is the complete opposite. And I think, especially as a student, I think I went through this quite a lot, where you just don't sleep. You just don't sleep, either because you don't want to sleep or you can't sleep, right? It becomes an issue. You find that you're only sleeping 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. If you've had a good sleep, it's when you sleep 4 hours. And that's not how it's supposed to be. I know people who've gone on for hours. Like today you're sleeping 1 hour, tomorrow you're sleeping 2 hours, the other day you're sleeping 1 hour again. Now it's 48 hours and you've only slept for 1 hour. Now it's 72 hours and you've only slept for 3 hours. It's not right, okay? So look into it. If you are going through this or someone you know is going through this, they might need help. And obviously there are times when, especially during the end of the year, people have been active, people have been doing the most, and now they're starting to get burned out a bit. It's end of year exhaustion, a bit of burnout in the mix as well. So people are allowed to rest. But that thing of now resting too much is an issue. And that thing of you not sleeping at all is an issue. As a student, you have to study your books. Obviously, you have to study, you have to get your knowledge right, you have to do all of these things. But then you know that this is just maybe for 2 weeks during the exams where you're just going a bit crazy, but you know that you'll go back to your routine. But this thing of just not sleeping, or just sleeping all the time, that is when you know that you need help, right? So definitely. And also another thing is when you start feeling like you are unable to cope with the challenges and the difficulties that you experience day to day. Things like traffic, things like dealing with family members, things like dealing with your own children when you're just like, I can't. Where you look at them and you're just like, where you can't deal with your wife, where you can't deal with your husband, where you can't deal with the people around you. You're just, where you feel like you are unable to deal with the demands of life, the cooking, the cleaning, the washing of dishes, the laundry, everything. Then there's business, and then there's corporate, and then there's school, and then there's all. If you feel like, oh, it's too much, but you've been feeling like this for a while, because there are times when we are doing a lot and we're like, oh, it's too much, but I'll get a break here. But there are moments when you're like, it's too much and it's an unending cycle. You might definitely need help. If you know someone who's in this route where they just overwhelmed with everything, you ask them, what are we having for dinner? And they just burst out. They might be going through something, and that might need them to go for help, right? The other one is hearing voices or sounds that are not there. Occasionally we do, especially if you're a spiritual person, you will obviously see things or hear things or feel certain things, man, right? But you know when it's not something spiritual. You can feel it. Could hide, man, something is going on with my head. You can tell the difference between spiritual things and things that are just in your head. And when it's just in your head, do advise that you go seek professional help. If you are having strong feelings of anger, strong feelings of anger, or you are angry, the kids, as you find one broken plate, you are angry, the whole world must know. A little thing happens at work, when you are angry, you are just crashing on everyone. It might mean that you need help, right? The little things, obviously little things bother, right? We already have established that. But if you get so angry that you are not approachable, it's strong feelings of anger, you are out of control, that might be a thing that might sign that you need help, right? The other thing that might show that you need help is when you have strange thoughts or delusions and you know yourself. As I, Jubilee, I know myself. I'm self-aware. I know certain things, right? Casting down all thoughts. First of all, you have to know what are the thoughts, right? So you know you're thinking and you know how you think, right? And you're able to cast down all these thoughts. But then some strange thoughts that are coming into your head, some delusions that are coming into your head, or you know someone who's just, they're sounding delusional, or something is just going on with them. And you can, like I said, if you're a discerning person, you can definitely discern between spirits. You can definitely discern that this is now happening in their psyche, or this is a spiritual thing that is happening, and you definitely need to address it whilst there is still time, right? None of the things that I've just shared now, mean anything until you can stand up and say, I need help, or my loved one needs help, right? We can watch this video and be done with it. But at the end of the day, we need accountability. And accountability is us taking the steps. And you are accountable when you have someone who's walking that journey with you. And this is why I recommend that we have therapy, that we have counseling, that we speak to a psychologist, right? Because then we are able to get the help that we need, right? Your friend might be speechless. Your family might be speechless. Yes, we can pray, right? It's an amazing tool for us to go through. We can pray, yes, but there are certain things that we need to break by thinking about what is going on and breaking it by sitting down and having these conversations. God in his intelligence has designed that we have people, counselors, therapists, psychologists who can literally help us in this regard. So definitely seek help. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It does not mean you're foolish. It does not mean you're weak. If you need help, get help, right? I think it's the wise thing to do, to get help when you need help. So yeah, mental health matters. And I'm hoping that by the time that we are done with all of this mental health awareness, with this whole series, that we can come to a place as people where we know that, you know what, we are good. And even when we are good, we are still going for therapy. We are still going for counseling. And we are engaging in processes that can develop us as human beings so that we can be better. We can be, I was looking at some of the habits that my parents have, and I'm like, my gosh, they don't make sense to me. And they don't make sense to me because they were in survival mode at the time, understanding the times, right? There's a mother who is working 3 jobs. She might not be there for you emotionally because she's working 3 jobs. She's on survival mode, that one, right? So certain things that she does will not make sense because she's operating in survival mode. But we need to come to a place where even when we are happy, we go for therapy, we go for training, and we move out. Survival mode is okay when it's just this time and it's a definite time and you can get out of it. But if you continuously living in survival mode, man, it starts affecting you. You're not living optimally then. So we need help, and we need to get the help that we need. So that is it. Are there some of the points that you felt that you relate to them? Being it confused thinking, being it long periods of depression or sadness or irritability, be it extreme highs and extreme lows, be it hearing or seeing things, be it the inability to cope with the everyday demands of life, be it suicidal thoughts, be it just physical ailments all the time, be it substance abuse, be it repeatedly engaging in risky behavior, be it strong feelings of anger, be it dramatic changes in eating and sleeping. I mean, sometimes you can see in your eating. There's this thing of just not eating. You eat once a day and you're done. And then tomorrow you don't eat. And then the other day you don't eat. And then you eat once and then you don't eat and then you don't eat. That could also mean something. Remember, our bodies need the nutrition. We don't just eat for energy. We also eat for the nutrition to keep this engine going, to fuel this temple of God, right? So, and also if you're overeating, if you are just there, you're having a quarter and then you're having pap and then you're having samp and then you're having mohodu and then you're having this, it's just everything. There might be an issue as well. If you're taking snacks and snacks and snacks and meals and snacks and snacks, meals and snacks, there's something going on. And sometimes we don't see it because you're eating like fruits and vegetables. You find that you're eating 10 bananas, 20 apples, and you don't see it because it's healthy food, right? There might be something wrong, so we need to check it out. So I've shared some of these things. What are some of the signs that you know? You can definitely list them below, please. And that is it. My name is Jubilee Rivombo, and this is a platform for us to speak about things that matter. Out of all the things that matter in this world, know that you matter and that your decisions and actions matter, and that we can build healthy families, and that those healthy families build healthy communities, and healthy communities build a healthy South Africa. My name is Jubilee Rivombo. I peace out.